Could XRP take Bitcoin's crown? Right now, XRP is in a game-changing position, one that any other altcoin would envy. And no, this isn't a crucial position in a bad way. It's the kind of position that could redefine its future. Here's why. XRP is making big moves with institutional players thanks to massive DeFi initiatives targeting the big leagues. Next, tokenization on the XRP ledger is gaining serious momentum, fueled by Ripple's ambitious push into this space. And let's not forget the real kicker. Ripple is sitting on over 1,700 NDAs for blockchain-based payments and initiatives. It all circles back to XRP and the XRPL. The question is, will XRP use all this to rise to the top? Stay tuned. XRP is uniquely positioned to lead the way thanks to its regulatory clarity and growing adoption. Ripple's recent moves like the Hidden Road acquisition and RLUSD developments highlight just how pivotal XRP is becoming in the crypto space. It's not just a player, XRP is gearing up to dominate. As regulatory discussions evolve and reality sets in around crypto frameworks, assets like XRP are only getting stronger. It's an exciting time for this space, and XRP is right at the heart of it all. Let's dive deeper into what's happening. This insight from Smoke Dog says it best. Did you know XRP only needs a 20x boost to overtake Bitcoin? Wisdom Tree even documented it. It sounds simple, right? Well, not so fast. Achieving a 20x increase at XRP's current level is no small task. It's a steep climb. To match Bitcoin's massive market cap, XRP's price would need to skyrocket. This highlights just how dominant and uniquely positioned Bitcoin remains in the crypto world. They break down transaction speed and throughput, but the real focus is the road ahead. For XRP to challenge Bitcoin's $1.9 trillion 0 cents market cap, major transformations are key. First, mass adoption. XRP needs a boom in usage, from payments to remittances and beyond. Next, regulatory clarity. Favorable rules could draw in institutional investors. Then, new partnerships and innovations must push XRP's utility past just payments. Finally, market sentiment, a shift toward altcoins over Bitcoin. During alt season, this is totally possible. And with regulatory clarity likely on the horizon, XRP may be primed for its moment. Widespread adoption might still be a little way off, but there's no denying the ecosystem is growing fast. You probably noticed all the buzz lately. Ripple's recent updates have been making waves, and they're dropping major hints about what's ahead for XRP. But that's not all. Digital Asset Investor also chimed in with something that really aligns with my thinking. Regulations could finally break Bitcoin's regulatory monopoly and open the doors to a true utility market. And let's be honest, Bitcoin dominance isn't as unshakable as some might think. It can shift fast. Remember 2021, Bitcoin dominance plummeted from over 70% to about 40% in just 4 to 6 weeks. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment. And trust me, it can happen again. Even now, when we talk about market dominance and the ever-shifting tides of crypto, altcoins have the potential to take center stage in an instant. Just one major announcement about XRP could spark a massive rally challenging Bitcoin's dominance and shaking up the rankings overnight. Back in January, I shared a thought-provoking post, and it feels more relevant than ever. If Bitcoin maxis are uneasy now, imagine their reaction when the following unfolds. XRP ETFs get approved and hit the market. XRP overtakes Ethereum again. Banks adopt Ripple's custody solutions for tokenization and beyond. As SAP 121 gets repealed, let's not forget, the big regulators are already paving the way. OCC approved crypto, FDIC gave the nod, and even the Fed is on board. US banks have officially embraced XRP, setting the stage for a seismic shift in the crypto space. XRP is carving its path to challenge Bitcoin's dominance, potentially flipping it as utility overtakes the outdated store of value argument for a volatile asset like Bitcoin. Bitcoin maxis can keep shouting their baseless claims, but the landscape has evolved. Utility is the name of the game now, and the growing momentum behind XRP only proves it further. The fear, hate, and jealousy you see online, that's all the confirmation you need to know big things are happening and even bigger things are on the way. Sit back and enjoy the ride. I still stand by this 100%. XRP is the future. Once XRP ETFs are approved, it's game over. I believe XRP will flip Ethereum. Banks are already stepping in, and I'm confident we'll see major announcements from big players soon. XRP is starting to show some serious momentum, and we could even see it outpace Bitcoin in a big way. When that happens, it's going to be a wild ride. Definitely a moment to keep your eyes on XRP. Everything seems to be falling into place perfectly for it. But what about timing? Well, that's still up in the air. What we do know, though, is Ripple is making big moves behind the scenes. Key figures like Monica Long have given us a glimpse into how institutional players are already jumping on board. Monica shared insights about Ripple's custody banking partners leveraging their services to tokenize real-world assets and refine their go-to-market strategies. She also pointed out that payments will continue to be the backbone of all on-chain financial services. The future of XRP, it's shaping up to be very exciting. Stay tuned.
So yes, there's the opportunities there, and it's coming together. I would say the other thing that I get excited about when we talk to our bank customers who are using custody, they really want us to be their partner or advisor in thinking about our real world asset tokenization.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the buzziest thing right now. But all those use cases, I mean, payments is really foundational to any kind of if you're going to be trading tokens, purchasing all of it, you need that infrastructure to create liquidity and then also settlement to move the assets, from account to account. So I think that things that we have built in payments are very foundational for many different use cases that an FI would venture upon.
All right, here's the deal. One of the most exciting things I've been laser focused on lately is the growing interest from institutional players in Ripple. We're talking about big names diving into areas like custody and payments, all of which are fueling the massive wave of tokenization. And guess what? This isn't just an Ethereum thing. It's happening right here on the XRP ledger. Ripple is leading the charge when it comes to tokenization on the XRP ledger. And it all ties back to those 1,700 NDAs. Yes, you heard that right. Ripple has over 1,700 signed NDAs with financial leaders actively building on Ripple's technology for tokenization. At the heart of it all, XRP. If you're paying attention, you're ahead of the curve. If you're holding XRP, you're ready for what's next. Now let's dive into that survey. Tokenization is transforming the future of finance. Ripple's recent global survey of over 1,700 finance leaders revealed that 72% plan to explore tokenization within the next 3 years, cementing it as a key driver of innovation. Blockchain's flexibility offers businesses the tools to adapt to shifting markets and unlock new asset opportunities like never before. Here's the wild part. Those 1,700 leaders perfectly align with the 1,700 contracts mentioned in the lawsuit documents. Coincidence? Unlikely. Even more intriguing. These aren't just any contracts. They're 1,700 XRP contracts. The fact they were specifically identified by name highlights how significant this truly is. Something big is happening. Let's dive into an exciting clip from Bloomberg featuring Tucum's CEO. Ripple, through XRP, is paving the way for tokenizing everything, and I mean everything. This marks a major leap towards merging trade finance with DeFi. It's a game changer. The future is tokenized, and XRP is leading the charge. This takes me back to Arcake's CEO discussing tokenization on the XRP ledger. Remember that bold claim? $30, 0 cents to $50 trillion, 0 cents, running through the XRP ledger, all handled by Arcix. Sounds wild, right? But honestly, it feels like one of those crazy until it's real moments. His timeline might have been a bit optimistic, claiming it would happen by the end of this year. Honestly, I don't see that happening just yet, but I'm confident we're on the verge of witnessing the first trillion hit on chain, and that moment is closer than we think. Once it happens, the growth will be explosive, quickly skyrocketing into tens of trillions of dollars. This is a game changer I've got my eyes on, and I couldn't be more excited to see it come to life. You don't want to miss this. Check it out now.
Use case that you mentioned, because a lot of folks watching probably would have the reaction, the only use case for Ripple and some of these other tokens out there is speculation. So what is the actual use case of XRP?
Okay, so XRP, that's absolutely not the case. You can speculate in it because it's out there and trading, but XRP, they started Ripple, and I'm not going to speak for them, okay? But they started Ripple to facilitate transactions, moving money around, okay? But now it's literally helping tokenize everything. As they develop their level 2 build out, they are really going to tokenize everything. They've just bought a broker-dealer clearing member, as you may know, and I think that that's the first step toward integrating traditional finance with DeFi. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a breakthrough. It is a breakthrough, but it'll happen slower than people think.
Okay, so the 2x...
When he talks about tokenizing everything, it perfectly aligns with Artix's vision for the XRP ledger. From the start, their goal was clear: to drive the tokenization of nearly everything. We're talking about 30 to 50 trillion potentially running through the XRP ledger, an absolutely mind-blowing prospect. Think about it. If these predictions hold true, the pieces are falling into place. The next 6 months could be key to seeing how fast tokenization accelerates. It's a thrilling time to watch these bold ideas take shape and potentially redefine everything we know. Even here, we've got Tikram's CEO saying it'll take longer than most people expect. And that's totally fine. A cautious approach often beats over-the-top optimism. But here's the exciting part. These conversations are happening. Prominent CEOs are speaking up, and that says one thing loud and clear. XRP is stealing the spotlight. Tokenization on the XRP ledger is front and center, and Ripple, they're driving it all forward at full speed. Now, let's rewind to October 15th of last year at Ripple Swell. Graham Rodford, the same person who mentioned 30 to 50 trillion on the XRP ledger, made a bold prediction. We think every asset will be on chain. Take a look at this game-changing statement.
What are your thoughts on the technology, aspect of that, and bringing on things like, CSDs into the equation? How do you make these things coexist, but how do you accelerate so you get more benefit?
Yeah, that's probably where I'm a bit more bullish on the adoption of these assets. I mean, we think every asset's going to be on chain. This technology benefits the issuer, the infrastructure, the investor for numerous reasons. So it's inevitable that this is coming. And you mentioned central securities depositories. And for those that don't know, like DTCC, Euroclear, they're kind of the books and records for a lot of publicly traded securities. And every single one of them, Euroclear, Clearstream, DTCC, these guys are looking at tokenization.
This is all happening on chain now, and we're talking about the biggest players moving massive sums of money. These are the giants, the trendsetters. If they're doing it, the rest will follow. It's like when I said, if a major bank like JP Morgan, Citi, or Bank of America goes on chain, the others won't be far behind. The same thing is unfolding with tokenization. The moment we see a major move, like DTCC tokenizing assets on a public network, Algorand, for instance, it's game changing. Imagine $10 billion, 0 cents flowing onto Algorand overnight. Every network would scramble to join the party. And yes, that includes XRP. This is why I believe Graham Rodford had such confidence in the XRPL reaching around 30 to 50 trillion. He pointed out that if major players like DTCC, Euroclear, or even BlackRock start tokenizing assets on a public network, it's a game changer. The floodgates open and the momentum becomes unstoppable. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'm bringing you all this free content for a reason. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace out.